Our regular meeting of January the 18th. We have some special guests this evening, and we'll ask them to introduce themselves on the agenda when we come to them. Is there any declaration of pecuniary or financial interest? Ted, you'll do so at the time, and I too have to declare a conflict, and I will do so at the time. So I don't know who I should invite to the table first, and I see the CAO of the county, so I think I will welcome you, Paul, to our regular meeting, and maybe you can introduce county staff. I will go around and introduce us first, Paul, and then I'll pass it over to you. How would that be? Okay, so to my extreme is Brian Pekoski. He's a councillor from Ward 3. John Jeffrey, councillor from Ward 3. Brown, councillor from Ward 1. Of course, you know me, I'm Janice TJ, the mayor. Sue Sheridan is our CAO. Debbie Popinski from Ward 2. Carl Keel from Ward 1. And Stanley Pekoski from Ward 2. So good evening and welcome. So I'll pass it over to you. Paul, we also have staff, they're on Zoom, and so they'll be, we have our road super and our building official, they're on the screen as well. So I'll pass it over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Your Worship, and thank you, members of council, for having us tonight. So we'll start with Lee, and I think Lee is going to be doing most of the speaking tonight. Lee Perkins is our Director of Public Works, and here to discuss our capital plan moving forward for 2022 and address any concerns that you may have as it relates to the County of Renfrew's capital program and policies we're working on as it relates to future growth. I also have with me is Craig Kelly, and Craig Kelly is the Director of Development and Property. Craig is also now serving as the acting CAO, but just in case you have any property or planning related questions, Craig is here as well and is more than qualified to answer those questions, Mayor TJ. So with that, I will turn it back to you, and I will let you start the delegation, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll welcome Lee then. Good evening, Lee, and thank you very much for coming and speaking to council, and I'll pass it over to you, okay?
Oh, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you guys so much for inviting us to speak. We've had the pleasure of actually being down and speaking with Sue and Dean on a couple of occasions, so it's very nice to get in front of full council. So as you know, next year we will be doing the last bit of Simpson Pit Road. So we'll actually be leaving Buck Hill and bringing it out to Round Lake, and it will be $781,000. That's what we're spending there. Other than that, did you have any questions related to that?
I just want to know why you're not spending more in my township. No, that's okay.
Lee, if you could address the active transportation component of the project.
Oh yes, okay. Yes, I did read in the newspaper that there was some confusion as to sidewalks. So the County of Renfrew, obviously, we call them hardened shoulders. We endeavor to put a meter on each road. So obviously, as you guys know, in Round Lake Center there is a section of road that heads out, or a section of a hardened shoulder that's on Simpson Pit Road. That'll actually be replaced this year, so no concern there. And we're actually hoping to get the full meter on both sides, depending on the geometry of the road. But yeah, unfortunately for me, I didn't understand the definition of a sidewalk. Sidewalk for us, of course, is a concrete. So if there's a concrete sidewalk, then that's obviously, as you know, that's the township's responsibility. But for us, of course, adding to the hardened shoulders is our responsibility, and that's one that we will have. So hopefully when we're finished on Simpson Pit Road, you'll see a nice, we call them hardened shoulders, but they're for walking, and they're also for pedal bikes and stuff of that nature, but we do call them hardened shoulders.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Lee.
And what else did you want to speak about?
Lee, if you can touch on where we were with the the policy and our process and the comments we received back and how we're going to move forward, sir.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So yes, so the county has reached out to our municipal partners. What we've been noticing is there's some significant growth within basically the southern portion of the county, and of course in as you may know, in Petawawa as well. So we do have an asset management plan. Our asset management plan actually covers repairing our current assets. So essentially, the easiest way to say it is the county of Renfrew doesn't build anything new. We put back what's there. We may enhance something like obviously with hardened shoulders and that sort of thing, but we don't actually build new roads or new bridges or facilitate growth in any way at all. So what we had done was back in April, our operations committee, we had a request come from the town of Arnprior for a growth-related intersection along Daniel Street, which is County Road 2 in Arnprior. So when we went to operations committee, the discussion began around how are we going to fund into the future, strategically planning into the future. How are we going to look after these items? So operations committee directed staff to go back and research amongst the Eastern Ontario counties, and we went out, we reached out, we found out how they are paying for growth related things in their counties as well. So we summarized that, but we wanted to reach out to our municipal partners to get responses back from you guys in particular as to the four options that we presented. One was status quo, which was we continue to do what we're doing and essentially try to find grant and funding opportunities for these expansion projects as they come up. And I'm sure, as you know, we've been unsuccessful thus far at, expanding in Petawawa, for example. Petawawa Boulevard is a high traffic road, and we've been trying to find grant and funding opportunities to expand that road for a number of years. The other option was to increase the county levy and create a fund. So the county levy would have a percentage devoted to all growth projects, and that money would theoretically sit somewhere, and we would make decisions on who gets what whenever necessary. The other option, of course, was development charges. And I do have to thank Mayor Hunt from Greater Madawaska, because our plan was to go forward with all these comments and research for our February committee. But in operations committee last week, Mayor Hunt asked if we could go to county council and get approval to actually research development charges. So there's actually a gentleman out there, a consultant, who actually talks to county councils and municipal councils to discuss development charges and how it can be implemented in your community. So this coming February operations committee, we will give them the responses, but we will hold off on any decisions at all until hopefully after March, if approved by county council, to bring this gentleman in to discuss development charges. And then the final option that we presented to our municipal partners was what we call cost sharing. So as you know, the Municipalities Act of Ontario provides for what the County of Renfrew is responsible for. Actually, all counties in Ontario, it lays out what the counties are responsible for. So in our estimation is if a community is benefiting from this extensive growth, then, and granted they are using county roads, because mostly in these communities, county roads are their arterials and collectors. So we feel that the opportunity to share in the costs with the local municipality based on what the Ontario regulations tell us that we're responsible for, and then whatever they need in addition, there should be some sort of cost sharing method to go forward. But again, that's one of the four options that we are presenting to operations committee. And again, as I just said, nothing will be decided now until April, because hopefully it'll go through county council that we will bring in this gentleman to discuss development charges in March as a delegation. And from that, we will go back to operations committee in April, and we will see where it all goes from there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Paul?
So maybe just to summarize a little bit on the growth policies. So your worship and members of council, no decision yet by county council has been made. We're still at the collecting information, investigating options, and providing those back to council for further debate and their consideration. So, at the staff level, I don't want to presuppose where county council will go with this. We're learning a few things as we go along here. There's site-specific development charges that could possibly apply to only those communities that are experiencing growth. The staff recommendation early on was the cost sharing option that was put forward because that would be directed at, again, those municipalities that would benefit and are experiencing the growth. So we will continue to bring information back to county council on the growth policies and seek council's direction on how to move forward. So with that, Your Worship, I'll turn it back to you. And I'm not sure if there's questions for Craig as well on any of the planning front. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess you both know that I've spoken very loudly about my displeasure with asking us to pay for county roads. The school board continues to come to us. They're short in their budget. They come to the municipality and expect or ask that we support them. And now we have the county coming, saying let's cost share on roads. So I have spoken against it because I truly believe we have a hard enough time looking after our own roads. We're not a big money tree and the money grows and we pick it off and then we can do whatever we want. So we have a taxpayer we answer to, and councillor is very frustrated. We can't even do the roads that we're obligated to look after. So that's why I guess my nose went a little bit out of joint when we talked about county coming and asking us to help pay for roads that are there in their jurisdiction. So I just wanted to explain myself so you understand my position. Now, this is new. I'm sorry I didn't hear about the idea of the cost sharing with those municipalities that have a bigger growth than, of course, KHR. We don't have the growth to warrant paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's a big chunk of our whole road budget. So that's new to me, and I'm sure that's the first time council heard that. So that's something else that we can look at. So thank you for that. Lee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And again, just to be clear, what you see right now, what county roads you see right now, we will continue to maintain them to whatever width they are, to whatever length they are. Like what we're talking about here is expansion. So if for some reason you wanted the 4-lane from Foymount for whatever, then that's where the cost sharing idea comes into it. But again, it's based on the growth. Like, and I know this is a long shot, but I mean, if you were to build 1,000 home subdivision in Old Killaloe, and we needed to do some infrastructure upgrades there, then that's where the cost sharing. So I do apologize for not being clear, but I can promise you what you see right now. And with that said, as we go along, anywhere we can put hardened shoulders, we are trying, if the road geometry is there. So, but what you see is we are going to look after. So don't, that's not, that, I'm sorry if I confused you.
Oh, no, I'm easily confused, Lee, so no, that's fine, thank you. Okay, council, have you got any questions on the road aspect? So, John?
The first one is not really a question. The first one is cost sharing. Those words scare me. But what type of engineers are you going to hire and what type of consultants are going to be working on this kind of stuff? That could cost an awful lot of money if they don't know what they're doing.
Which one wants to tackle the answer? Paul?
Paul, yeah.
Sure, thanks. And through you to Councillor Jeffries, great to see you, sir. And, you're absolutely right. Consultants aren't cheap. And, we're always cautious. In fact, we've been moving towards doing as much work in-house with our own engineering staff as possible. So we are very cautious, specific to your question around the cost share component. Again, best examples are things like the town of Arnprior, where we're looking at Daniel Street or Raglan Street in Renfrew, where they're experiencing significant growth and they need to make significant modifications to intersections or turning lanes and those types of things that never existed before. So whether we hire a consultant or we do it in-house, that is something we would always work with the local municipality on to define what the cost will be and what's best needed for that community in terms of expansion beyond what was there originally. So, that is kind of the principle we would follow. And again, we want to be cautious in the use of taxpayers' money as well. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I definitely agree with what you're saying with in-house, working with municipalities, because you'll have 17 of them to work with. And in-house is a lot less cost than hiring consultants or engineers.
I don't disagree with you, sir. Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Paul.
Anybody else?
I just want to.
Okay, go ahead, Carl.
Hey, we're talking about 4 lanes. The only 4 lane we need is Ruby Road for all the traffic on the reservation.
Yes, I appreciate that comment. Thank you.
I don't see that is out of the question. We could 4 lane. Anyways, anybody else before I start? Okay, so just for, I've been I sit on the operations committee, so, I hear all the discussion, but remaining the status quo and continue on a case by case, wouldn't that be much more efficient on a case by case? That would sure calm the smaller municipalities like myself, because we're not caught up. If county council agrees that we're gonna go cost sharing with municipalities, it better darn well say what you said in the document. Because not all of us are gonna be here in years to come, and then somebody new can read a document and say, it says you have to, or it says you must. So those are the words. I'm always nervous when something's in writing and something is said publicly but not put on paper, because then it's different. And so would it not be a better remain status quo and do it on a case by case, which is the Petawawas of the world and the Iron Priors? Those are the big ones that have that kind of development that need to be looked at on a case by case. Why would you go to cost sharing for all municipalities if you can cover it under that one? Paul?
And thank you, Your Worship. And that is the challenge. And that is why we're trying to collect as much information as possible so council can make an informed decision. There's the other side of the argument that we're hearing from some of the other municipalities that are experiencing the growth, is that they want to be able to have a plan for the future. And in having that plan, they want to know how that plan is going to be funded. So that is the debate, I think, that is going to ensue at County Council. And County Council at the end of the day will be making that decision on what the policy will look like, and will direct staff to proceed either as you have indicated, Mayor TJ, or as council directs us. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, I guess I'll be making my point at County Council, but that would sooner solve my worry. I'm okay with cost sharing of municipalities if you write in that policy exactly what you said. So it's the one with the growth, the heavy growth, and not include us in that. That would have to be clearly spelled out to make me feel comfortable, and I'm sure my council feels the same way. So just a point. So then, because Craig is on, can we talk about development charges and those kind of things, Paul?
Absolutely.
Okay, so council, then we go to, we talk about the development charges proposal, and Tyler has given some comments. So there too, I'm a little bit worried about that, and I'm concerned for my taxpayers, I guess. It's how it's collected, and all of those things. I don't want it to be like we collect your taxes and we send it to you, and then we take the heat for those increases. So I don't want to be in the grocery store and people are going to be yelling at me because of development charges that the county collects and I'm taking the heat for it. So those are, and I mean, I don't mean to sound, it's my job, but if you guys are getting the money, then you should be able to justify it. And I don't agree with it, so you're not going to see me supporting it on the street. So anybody have any questions on the development charges?
Just on the
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Just on the development charges, Your Worship, that's we're at the point right now where we're really only collecting information there is going to be a resolution in front of council that would direct staff to bring in a consultant to explain to us how development charges would work. But I think we're not there yet in terms of having enough information to make a decision on that. So again, that will be coming to county council at the end of January for approval. And if council so approves, we would bring in someone from Watson or one of the firms who are experts in that field to come talk to us about what that would look like and what the implications are for the local municipality. So again, we're still collecting that information. So no position on that at this point, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. John?
Will development charges be charged as the cost of the development going up? What's the cost going to be based on development charges?
If I may, your worship, very premature on that question. That would require, council to actually establish a development charges bylaw and establish what those costs are and outline them in that bylaw. And we're not there yet. So I have difficulty answering that question, sir.
I understand, yeah, okay, yeah, I understand that. So you're gonna bring somebody in, an expert to come and give us different things, and county council will have to decide. Okay, is there any other questions on any of that policy by council? Well, thank you very much for taking the time. And I know Craig didn't ask you any questions. I'm trying to think of something really difficult that I could ask you. But
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm fine with the questions. I will say, I just want to say, if I can, Mayor, and good evening. It's going to be great working with you folks. We like you so much. You're in the first cohort of zoning bylaws that we're going to be working with. And I believe a meeting's been set up with staff and with Mr. Howarth and our crew in planning, and looking forward to working on a really interesting project with KHR going forward. So again, happy you're first, and congratulations, you won the lottery.
thank you, Craig. Yes, thank you very much for putting us first in the queue. We were excited about that. So thank you. It's a big project, and we're going to be walking softly because we have this is new to a whole pile of our taxpayers. So I was involved in the zoning of Brown Lake. It took us a long time, but we did it very carefully and slow and really worked with the taxpayers, and we were successful in getting that zoning without, hardly no fluff. So I'm hoping that as we work through this process, we can do it that way again so that we can try to resolve some of the problems before they arise. So Craig, thank you very much on behalf of council that we are first in the queue.
Very welcome.
The only other thing, Paul and Lee, since I have you on here and council are all sitting here, council usually look at me to bring concerns from this table to you, but now you're sitting right in front of us. So I just want you to reassure my council that you're going to do something about that bridge. So they look at me every meeting and say, Janice, any word on the bridge? So why don't you two tell them about the bridge?
Mr. Perkins?
Yes, thank you. And I actually was fortunate enough to bring Taylor Hanrath. Taylor's our manager of infrastructure, and Taylor wanted to, and we didn't forget about the wall as well. So, but Taylor, do you want to address it, or do you want me to do it?
Good evening, everyone. I can jump in here if that's all right. So we have a survey completed on the bridge, and we're working on a small design to issue for an RFQ early in the year to get it corrected. Similar for the wall, but we're going to use day labor forces to fix the wall now.
Okay, council, do you have any questions on that report? Well, isn't that lovely? See, they're all happy now. They're going to leave me alone.
And
Okay. Sorry?
And your worship, I noticed the meeting is recorded, so you've heard that now and it's recorded.
And don't you think I won't use it, Paul? Okay, so again, to all of you from the county, thank you very much. To the staff, Dean or Tyler, do you have any comments or questions before I let the county go?
Not for me. I think once we get into it more and the studies are done for the with the consultant on the planning charges, then I might have more follow-up questions. But for now, like Paul said, it's pretty open-ended. So,
Okay, Dean?
No, I think when Lee Perkins and Taylor and I met there, we kind of went over a few things like as of tonight. And I think, like I said, at this point, I think we're pretty good.
Good, good. Well, look, you made everybody happy, gentlemen. So again, thank you very much. I really do, yeah, Craig. I really do appreciate that you took the time to come into our chambers and chat with us this evening. So all of you have a safe and healthy evening. Good night, and we will talk to you at the county. Goodbye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good
And
night,
thank you,
Council.
members of council. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, very good, guys. All right, so we'll do the minutes, and we have a motion to do the minutes of our regular meeting, January the 4th.
Moved by Dennis Plansky, seconded by Carl Keel, motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting held on January 4th, 2021, open and closed session.
Discussion, all those in favor? It's carried.
Janice, it's Tyler. Do you think you'll need me for anything rest
I
of the
don't,
meeting?
council, do you have anything for Tyler?
Yeah, I think around 9 o'clock, we're gonna need him till.
Not that I don't like hanging out with you guys, but
Tyler?
oh, I didn't hear.
Tyler, Carl has a question.
You didn't announce that you got engaged to Christmas gifts, did you?
That was a secret.
Oh, it's October.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't get any deer.
Straight.
Tyler, have a good evening. Thank you very much for joining us,
All
okay?
right. All right, thanks.
Let's go to the fire department. Bob, you're on. We have your report. Bob, do you want to go ahead? Bob?
He's on mute.
Try that. Is that better?
That sounds better, yeah. Away you go.
Okay, with respect to fire, not much activity until yesterday. And of course, our big storm started our day with a motor vehicle collision on Red Rock Road with injuries. A lady in there had some lower leg injury. As far as anything else, upcoming events and training, everything's pretty well canceled because of the COVID measures put in place. So about the only thing we're doing right now is truck maintenance and the truck checks themselves, along with response, until we get a clear field to start training again and meetings. That's where we're sitting with that. COVID. We've had 4 meetings since our last meeting with council on EOCG. That was on January 4th, 7th, 10th, and 14th. Now, with respect to local numbers, Renfrew County and District as of January 17th, confirmed cases at 2,348, resolved cases at 1919, and 17 deaths. Ontario as of 17th, confirmed cases at 971,000, deaths at 10,702. Nationally, as of the 17th, confirmed cases 2.81 million, deaths at 31,748. And internationally, as of today, confirmed cases 331.8 million, resolved cases at 269.3 million, and deaths at 5,565,748. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to the first of his report. The first one on the fire. Any comments or questions? A, B, C. Number 2, it's the EMC. 3, COVID. The report as a whole. Thank you very much, Bob. You have a good evening.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye. Bye, Bob.
Bye-bye now.
We're gonna go to, is Chris on? Yep.
He's the picture.
Oh, you got a picture of, okay. Well, there you are. Good evening.
How's it going?
Again, sorry I didn't get back to you. I will. I seen your message, but I never got time to have a look, okay?
Oh, that's okay.
So we'll talk maybe tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
There we go. And we have to look at the pictures, you and I. We also.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So go ahead.
Okay, Sue, can I share my screen here, or everyone? I guess everyone has a copy of it. We don't need.
And coffee. Do you still want to share?
Yeah, maybe just for fun. It's more exciting. It's more exciting when it's on the big screen. Okay. Okay, everyone can see this?
Not yet, not yet.
See,
We see you in the corner.
Okay, well, that's good. You don't see this big, colorful.
Yeah,
Oh,
see a rock.
we see rocks.
I did share, like,
See, they were having trouble the other night.
yeah, we were having.
okay, that's Sue's screen. Let's see if my screen works. No, that's okay. We don't have to. You're just seeing me and a bunch of rocks still?
That's all, yeah.
Okay. Well, just imagine it in your mind as a huge, big thing up on there. So I'll stop sharing because that's completely unnecessary. Okay. So right off the start, we've got a huge announcement. Most of you already know about it, but I can finally announce it in public. So we were successful through the Commonwealth Mutual Insurance Group for a grant for $46,650 for the newly established Killaloe Pathways Park. This is really huge. This will basically pretty much complete our funding required for our phase one. The first half that we used for the first 30,000 that we got from the Healthy Community Initiative went towards basically building the trail and installing the fitness stations. The rest of this money will go towards building the reading and art stations, the amenities like accessible picnic tables, benches, garbage cans. We even got a composting bin. And all that's left on that is the sculptures, the climbing structures that they wanted. But other than that, we've come pretty far. So as of right now, total funding for the park is at $76,650 for Killaloe Pathways Park. So in less than a year, we've really come a long way. I have to thank our community group of the 13 community organizations of Killaloe Pathways Park. We've got really something special here, so stay tuned for more. I'm sure it's not the end, but this is really exciting news that we can finally share with the public. Okay, on to the next thing, summer students. So I'm in the process of applying for the Canada Summer Jobs, which is pretty much mostly how we fund our summer students. So as per last year, we were doing 2 public work students, 2 swim program students, a visitor information center student, a community development assistant, and I'm proposing a new position, which we call the tourism and development assistant. And I'll get into that, how we're gonna work through that and what it's all about in the next slide. So this new position, start off with the important part, which is the funding. So I realized that last year, before we were doing the summer student that helps me through the summer experience program, but it's not as good for paying for a student that's going to be there for the whole summer, because it has a limit of 32 days that we get paid for, whereas the Canada Summer Jobs will pay up to 16 weeks. And since we were successful getting that, all of our summer students funded for that last year, I thought we might shift gears to try to assess some other needs that we have in the community development department to try to help out with the growth that we're experiencing and the current times that we're in with all of the grants and everything coming out. So my proposal for this would be to fund it through that, because it focuses on tourism, heritage, and culture and recreation. It's more about an experience, and I feel like this job is really kind of a unique thing. So the tourism and development assistant, would assist with research required to develop grant proposals. For example, beautification, the Killaloe Pathways Park developments, as well as assisting in developing new tourism initiatives and active living projects. For example, the active transport study. They could also assist with the BIA and Killaloe Pathways Parks where needed. The big idea being that right now there's a lot of money out for grants, and we have a really unique, in Killaloe, Haggerty Richards, it seems to be there's a lot of volunteer groups really active. And so I'm worried that we've got so much going on, but there's only a limit in terms of what I can do in terms of research. All these grants are coming out and there's only a week, sometimes a month to get them in, which isn't enough time to basically research all the things of how we're going to pay for that and where we're going to outsource the materials for, and all the little bits of the mostly just researching that has to happen. When I'm writing grants, I'm researching for a long time, trying to figure out how to best set ourselves up for that. Dale and I talked about this before, but basically our dream situation would be to have a book and a 5 to 10 year plan with all these things that we want to do and have them fully researched out with all the prices, all the logistics of how we're going to do that, and everything pre-planned out in a book so that when the grant comes up, it's just plug and play. You apply it right into there. Because right now we're growing in a lot of different directions, but it would be really helpful if I had someone to help me with the research component, because it's so intensive, and especially since it would be paid for, it would be a huge help to me to be able to have someone else do all the research so that we can take advantage of this, because it's not always going to be the case when grants are coming in like this. Right now, Killaloe's on the radar. We've got $76,000 in one project alone, but grants aren't always going to be like that. And I really want to be in a position where we have everything figured out so that when we want to do it, we're ready to go, instead of the grant comes out and then we're scrambling to try to make it work and figure everything all out. So that's my proposal, is either through this grant, which is due in February, so still some time to think about it, or through volunteer work, that we start to try to filter through some of this stuff. Because although when a grant comes up and it's relevant, I'll put everything I have into it. The big picture would be that we have so much growth opportunity here that the more projects we have shovel ready, the better it is for us when these grants are going to come up. So especially if it's paid for by a grant, then that would be my suggestion, because the summer student is really going to be focused on the programming and the businesses. And I would hope that this person would be more focused on the tourism and the actual development and the research. And it's something that someone could do remotely, volunteer. There's a whole bunch of options for that, but I just thought because there's grants out there right now that it would be a good opportunity. Okay, shifting gears to a completely different thing. 'Twas the contest before Christmas. So it was a huge success. We had over 50 entries, which is big for a Christmas contest because usually everyone's so busy with everything going on. The winners are listed here. Andrew Schulis, who is from KHR, Blakely Budrick from BLR, Buck Overby. They had 390 votes, which is pretty huge for Bon Cher Valley. And then Olivia Keller, also from BLR. So if you flip the page here, see some really nice Christmas stuff. And so that seemed to be really well received. And we're looking forward to next year when people will kind of know a little bit more about it and they'll want to participate. So outdoor rinks. So I just wanted to post in case council's getting questions or whatever, when's the rink open? What's the schedule? Here they are for you right here. They're also posted online. But basically our warming hours would be 5 to 9 in Killaloe in the week, 1 to 9 during the weekends. But Round Lake will be 6 to 9 during the weekdays and 3 to 9 during the weekends, and the schedules are there. We're getting nothing but good reports back about the ice. Both Jeff and Harold, I think, are the best ice technicians in Renfrew County, and they're really doing an awesome job at the rinks, so they deserve a lot of credit. And the community's using it like crazy, which is great, especially now during the lockdown when people can get out and do some stuff. And we're not having any issues in the warming areas or anything like that. So it's going really well. Okay, Beaver Tail is probably wondering what's going on here. so this is a project that we're working on with Beaver Tales to try to come up with some co-advertising, promotion things to kind of build on the idea that Killaloe is the birthplace of Beaver Tales. And so really trying to go with a tangible asset, meaning something that stays in the municipality and also kind of promotes the area and lets people know that Beaver Tales were invented here. So this is just one of the ideas. It's not set in stone. We did have a preliminary meeting with Grant and Pam regarding this, but once I actually have a solid plan with costing shared out, I'll be bringing a proposal to council to attempt to do this. And the idea would be basically a cutout. You've probably seen them at fairs. A lot of times it's like a farmer or something silly, and you put your heads through it and take a picture. So this was a kind of a unique thing that I had come up with a bunch of ideas, but basically that people could do while they're waiting in line for Beaver Tales, or we had thought about putting some in the park. Just fun little things that would help very inexpensively advertise Killaloe as the birthplace of Beaver Tales, and also give something people fun to kind of to check out. So that's just more of a stay tuned for that, but I wanted to keep council in the loop of that interesting project coming up. Moving on to Hazardous Household Waste Day. Sue asked me to put together this graphic that you see before you. Basically trying to help people starting in the newsletter basically to see what it is that we actually do take and the stuff that we don't. So I've confirmed this with the waste management people. This is everything that we do take, but it'll be in the newsletter every single issue until August, because we want people to know as well as they can what's going on, and then they can post this on their fridge or whatever. It's a really simple graphic that we can use for future development. It just kind of puts it all in a nice thing that's very easy to follow. Okay, there's a lot going on in community development, so I apologize for the couple of pages here, but COVID-19 rapid tests. So I've actually was able to secure some COVID-19 rapid antigen tests from the Upper Ottawa Valley Chamber of Commerce. They're currently waiting for supply and hope to have tests shortly. Once they have arrived, I'll pick them up in Pembroke. So they're already ordered. They basically ask you how many staff that you have. And it was an issue that we came across that basically any organization that has less than 100 employees actually gets these for free. So we're going to get them for free for all of our staff. So kind of an interesting development, but we got it figured out. So very exciting. Okay, EVs, electric vehicle stations and Little Gem. So I've set a dual date for Saturday, February 5th. I reached out to the Little Gem and they had some scheduling conflicts the next couple of weeks. So that was the earliest that we could get in. I did get the award and this is what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's very cool. They did a really good job. At first I thought they did it backwards, but it's just that it's clear looking through the other side. So it's all good. I can bring it by if you want to check it out after, but so the idea would be having an electric vehicle, the charging station event at 10 o'clock on the 5th and Little Gem at 10:30. So please let me know if that doesn't work. And but otherwise that's going to be the date that we set for that. Other exciting news, the curling club is 50 years old. I just found out this last weekend, but they were established in 1972. So they are officially 50 years old. So I'm requesting that we purchase an award or a plaque and have a small event to celebrate this amazing achievement, because especially the curling rink, like that's been existing for 50 years. That's pretty exciting. This picture, it was on their website. I don't know if it's them, but they've been at it for a while. So I was asking council for a budget cap of $300 because I was hoping to get something a little bit maybe bigger or nicer, considering it is 50 years for a volunteer organization. That's incredible. And so I hope that council support that, but I'd be open to suggestions for whatever you think, if you want to add less or more. But I just thought I'd bring it to council attention because it is a pretty significant event. Okay, Snowdown 2022. The event starts in January 19th and runs until March 18th. There's gonna be $1,000 in prizes. This is definitely our biggest contest of the year. I forget exactly how many we had last year, but it was a lot. And we only partnered with 3 municipalities. So I'm expecting pretty big things from this one. Usually at Christmas, everyone's kind of in the Christmas mode. And so the Christmas event is kind of a hit and miss, but this snow sculpture one running from January to March was a huge success last year. Brought our social media up a lot. And that cross collaboration just seems to be working really good with the municipalities. So, I know Dale will be super happy about this, but new building materials just arrived yesterday to help with the snow contest. And we're supposed to get some more snow on the way. So perfect incentive for people to get out there and build some snow sculptures. And I don't remember if you remember last year, but we had some really, really, really awesome designs, cars, dragons, penguins, all kinds of stuff. So this is something really to look forward to. And there's the little poster on the right-hand side, showing everybody all the municipalities involved in the prizes and everything. Okay, and lastly, other updates. Newsletter is going to be coming out on Monday. A BIA meeting I have with them January 20th. The Kidloo Pathways Park is delaying their opening event until the restrictions ease. Rural Rewards, the next draw is January 21st. And just so everyone's aware, I will be working from home and combination from office as per Ontario guidelines. And that's my report.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much. We'll go to the start then. So the big announcement for the 46,650, congratulations, and please
Thank you.
offer the whole group our congratulations, Kathy, Phil, and all your other volunteers. Well done. You do Killaloe proud, getting that kind of money to come into the village. So again, thank you very much. Any questions? Summer students, any comments or questions on the summer students? The new position, any comments or questions on the new position, Brian?
Yeah, so this position, is this a full-time or just a summer student?
Oh, no, just summer student. And it would be just to help with research because there's so much research involved in a grant. And I'm just seeing it's not going to last forever where all these grants are out. And to have someone to just do the research, all the very tedious little things, like that's a perfect job for a student. And what a great opportunity to get a chance to be a part of a future project, right? There's so many relatable skills that go into that. So it fits really nicely into that grant in terms of this experience, because you're getting a unique experience as a student to be able to figure out all the moving parts of a operation or a new development under the guidance of someone else. And so the whole idea would basically just assist me with the research component, because it just, when the grants come out, we want to be ready to go, shovel ready. We want to have all this stuff ready to go. And it would just be a huge help to me to have somebody to do that, because then we can get into a position where we have a 5-10 year plan where we're like, yeah, we're going to do this. We want to do this. If the grant comes up, we're going to do it. And so that we're ready to go. It just, I think it puts us in a really good position, considering that we've got such a strong community right now. And particularly since the grants seem to be really, a lot of them.
Thank you, Chris, and I'll just echo that. The shelf ready is what we have to have. Those grants come and they give you a month to prepare, and you know, it takes lots longer than a month to prepare a grant application. So what he's suggesting is we can have them sitting on a shelf, they're ready to go. So a grant becomes available for the rink. We've got this thing, you pull it off the shelf, you do a couple of updates, and away she goes. So shelf ready, you know? And so, yeah, okay. Debbie, you had a comment?
Yeah, so Chris, I guess if it's a 16-week program, so obviously they started like May, right? May, June, July, August.
That's the summer. So I was just using that for comparison.
Okay.
The other one would only be 32 days. So we'd be getting a month basically of help, but it would be fully covered by the grant if we got it. I was just saying, so in the past, we were applying for my assistant's job under this grant, but we're actually getting more money from the Canada Summer Jobs. So that's why I'm not applying for it under that. I'm just saying this is an opportunity to basically have that position paid for at least a month. And if we're getting a lot of, if it's really working out good, then we can explore other stuff. But that's also why I thought I might try to look into the future for volunteer or whatever. It's just basically helping with the research stuff, the stuff that a student could do, kind of getting that experience, but then it would be covered. The idea would be that the grant would pay for that time.
That's right, because I know that we're, sorry,
No, go ahead.
because if we're looking for somebody that would be like a university student, they're normally done at the end of April, right? So we'd have to start the process, I'm assuming, you know, get the job descriptions and everything like that. So, and then the postings and stuff like that. So just work on that, I guess.
Okay,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I think that if we can get someone for that position would be a great idea, because I know what you mean by the deadlines when it comes time to do these grants. The deadlines are so
Tight.
Yeah.
as well.
A month or so.
So
Plus,
I
we've got
totally-
all our other operations going on, right? So it's just such a huge advantage to, like, even if we get them for that month and that's what we do, that's a month of research that I've got prepped up already, that I can know this is the cost and this is all the little fine details. Because I learned that when I was doing a couple grants, it's like, oh my, there's actually a lot more than just the idea, right? There's the actual physical things that have to make everything come into play. So that's kind of what I was thinking behind that.
Chris, do you know when those grants, when we know?
I think it says April. So
Okay.
Canada Summer Jobs is April, and I'm pretty sure the other one is April. I don't have it with me right now, the exact date, but we could try to apply for it from the grant and then kind of go from there, because it doesn't have to be start right away in when the summer students are available. They could do it at any point in time over the summer, whatever time is best for them, whether it's the end of the summer or the start of the summer. And even if it had to go after that, is the basic idea would be that whatever grant money we get, that basically makes a month of research that I can use moving forward. So it's actually really advantageous, because we don't have to necessarily have it right away in April if we didn't want to, or say we got a really good student, but they were like, oh, I'm not going to be coming home from university or whatever until this time. We can move around that. Whereas the other ones, the Canada Summer Jobs, are more finite. They start at this time, they end at this time. This is a month block of time that we can move anytime in between whatever their schedule is.
I guess the only fear I have about a position like that is if I was a student, I would want something more lengthy so that I could pay for some of my university, right? So that kind of limits the applicants that we get. So if you're saying they could kind of do it at night and they could kind of do it on the weekend and those kind of things, then that would have to be reflected in that position. So I could hold a job down as a university student and then still do the research for you. So
Well, that's what I was thinking too. It could be very well like a subsidiary thing, because it would be a great thing for someone to earn some extra income who's looking to get a really good experience, that they could come in and say, okay, well, I'm working so many hours at the golf course and I just want to have something small that I can do, then that would be a really good option for them. And if it does work really well, then in the future we can expand it. And that's what I thought. We'd start small and try it out and see how it works. And then if it's something that we find really advantageous, then we can expand it in the future, just to capitalize on the grant, because it would be paid for.
But I'm trying to sell it better. Could we pay for 1 month and the grant pay? Would they allow us to tap on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we can, and we definitely have the work. Like there's lots of work here in community development that they could help out with. In regards to that, it was just more so why I chose that timeline was so that it would be paid for by that grant. But we could absolutely add in however long we want. It's the minimum that would pay for, or sorry, that we would have to do is that time, and that's what they pay for, is that amount.
Okay. All right, Bill, is there any questions further on that? So the student that we're going to get for you, to help you run the program, could we tap this onto that position and make it more attractive? So 1 month of research development, and then the next 2 months an assistant to you during your programs. Would that look like a better job, and would that suffice?
You're saying tack it on to the end or the start of a term basically and try to get them more time, or that they would, because there's definitely enough to do for the other student, like that, my assistant, there's more than enough stuff for them to do. This was basically trying to capitalize on that grant to help out with more work. So we could look into that. I can see if that's possible. But the idea was that they would, because there's so much extra, that they would help out with that. So we can do it longer than a month. There's definitely room for that. I just brought it to council with the 32 days because that's what the grant had paid for. But it's totally open to whatever we can do. It's definitely, the need's definitely there.
I'm trying to sell it to council, so could we do 32 days under the grant as part of the job, and then the next 2 months, assisting you doing the programming? So nothing would change except you get one person doing 2 jobs. So the first part of that job would be this development, research, grant and that, and then after 32 days, they shift into the position of assisting you running the program.
I don't know if they will allow us to do that under the 2 grants, and I don't know if I want to take away from the work that the student would normally be doing, because I do need that other student for sure. So I'm just trying to see if are you trying to say that you would want it before? So say they were normally going to start in May, you would try to get them to do that position from May to June, and then June to July they would do the other position?
Yes.
I think I'd rather have the one student do the whole thing, because I need that student for sure. The idea was that I needed more help with the research component to try to take advantage of these grants, utilizing this grant to just pay for that. So we could expand it into a 3-month position if that's what council wants, because the work is definitely there. There's definitely work for them to do that research and development, because there's only so much too with the programming going on that the other student can do. So
Yes, all I was trying to do, Chris, is make the position more attractive to the students out there. So if I was looking for a job and I could take a job doing 2 things. The first one is 32 days of assisting with the research and then that would be my sole job. After the 32 days, I then start getting paid under a different assisting in the programming. It would be a really more interesting job to me. It would give me 3 months of work and 2 different types of jobs in my field. That's all I was trying to do, is make it more attractive to our applicants.
well, I could bring back, because it's not until February, I could bring back something too to add on to that position with the research to make it more interesting. Because like I said, there is lots of work for us to do here. It's just because that student, as soon as they come in, they're helping me with all the programming, all the business, all the stuff that Ruby was doing. She's hitting that right away. So as soon as they come in, they're right under that grant. So
Okay, maybe you and I could talk about it later, and
absolutely.
if you still think we should do the split, then I'm okay. I was trying to make it more attractive.
No, I understand what you're saying, and we can definitely talk about it more, because we do have time with that one until February, and so mid-February, so we can talk about it and bring something back and have that locked down.
Any further questions? You understand what I'm trying to do? Okay. Is everybody, first of all, show of hands that we are going to proceed with this position in some fashion. Okay, you got all hands up. So we'll talk about it later then. Okay, Chris?
Okay, thank you very much.
This was the contract for Christmas. Any comments? I want to congratulate all the winners. Well done. Good program. Nice to see you. I love all of them, but the third one there with the little car and the little Christmas tree, that just gets my heart.
That had 390 likes on Facebook. I think that's a record for us.
I just very nice. Beaver Tail, comments or questions? Hazardous waste day, Ted?
So is that date confirmed?
Yes, yeah, cool, yeah.
Okay, and on this flyer, if we can get something on there about nothing bigger than a 5-gallon pail. Because last year they were coming with 45-gallon drums.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so-
Dean and I kind of already talked about this because, yeah, we definitely had that situation last year. We put 25 liters as a limit. So under automotive fluids, we put must have a cap and 25-liter limit. Did you want something different? We can add that in, we can change it. But we put that in there because of that, because there has to be some sort of limit.
So he said it's okay because we couldn't see the small print.
Oh, okay.
Can I interrupt there for a second?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, no, I don't, it wasn't a 25-liter limit, Chris. It was just 25-liter pail that they could bring it in with the lid on, because like Teddy said, we had no, they were bringing in pails with no lids. But no, I wouldn't say 25-liter minimum. It just has to be in a 25-liter pail when they bring it in with the lid. That's my suggestion.
Okay, I can make that change.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
COVID rapid test. EV station and Little Gem. Okay, so everybody, February the 5th, then it's confirmed, electric vehicle station at 10. It's a Saturday, and then the Little Gem at 10:30. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Mark it on your calendars. Okay. The curling club, 50 years, congratulations to them. I think absolutely, Chris, you should work on something. You can get back to us on that. Is everybody okay with that? Snow down 2022. Comments, questions? Other updates, newsletter, BIA meeting, the KPP opening event delayed, and you'll get back to us. Rural rewards, working from home and in the office. Anything else on his report? Chris, well done. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, it's just an addition, I guess. The environmental action tour.
Yeah, we always do that in May.
Yeah, I was just, well, no, last year we moved it, right?
Yes.
So I was just,
We should start working on that,
yeah,
yeah.
it was just,
I got a call the other day from a taxpayer asking me when we were doing that again, so,
That's great.
yeah, we were gonna, now the long weekend's too busy. I don't want people killed on the road because.
and I know we talked about, like, you know, Chris always talked about having, you know, like a barbecue before, if COVID allows, you know, and stuff like that.
Now, we can have events outdoors as long as it's 50% capacity, so I mean, something could be done about that. I'm really, I'm so disappointed that we couldn't have the loggers event. And, you know, to Stanley and Joanne and John and all your volunteers, my goodness, it's really sad. What an event to have to say, put on hold, and I hope that it won't be lost.
Yeah, twice.
Okay, so yeah, that, we better talk about a date about that and moving forward at that. Okay, Chris, I know you're busy, but those are things we have to.
Absolutely. Did you want to set a date, like a recreation meeting or
Up to the chair.
Do we need a meeting for it? Or do we just need to pick a date?
Up to
no, so
you.
you just want me to pick a date and get back to you, or just, sorry, I misunderstood the question. Did you want to meet, or did you want me to just come up with a date and get back to everybody?
Well, I do think that we should talk about ideas and how to.
Okay, well, we can set a meeting.
Because there's definitely need for that, because we can talk about kind of where we're going to go with all of our events and just make sure that we're all on the same page, because as far as I'm concerned with the COVID stuff, we're good to go with a lot of our outdoor events, but it would be good to kind of confirm that with everybody and get everybody on the same page, and then lock some dates in and then make sure it works for everybody.
Well, let's pick a day for, we'll have a rec meeting and get it all.
We'll toss out ideas.
Get
at
the
the rec-
ideas all organized.
Yeah.
and- Yeah.
Okay, what about February sometime? Then that gives Chris time to. Okay, who's on the rec?
Debbie and Ted.
Okay, so it's a next, okay, so find, February is too busy for you.
Oh, well,
No, but like at night, what time?
Evening meeting?
Yeah. Evening's okay. 7 o'clock, too soon, 7:30? Okay, let's pick a date in February at 7.
7 to 8, maybe?
Yeah, your call. Jens, which looks good for you? They're both okay. I have meetings during the day, but I'm good at night.
How about the 7th then?
Yeah. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on the 7th of February. So Chris, if you can toss ideas about how we can
Okay.
improve it more fun.
Yep.
And then we can discuss and bring back to council some ideas.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Debbie. Was it Debbie you brought up? Thank you very much. Okay, no problem. Anything else for Chris? Chris, anything else for us?
Nope, that's it for me.
Do good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Chris, bye-bye.
Bye.
Dean, how are you?
Not too bad yourself?
Not too bad. How did you get through that snow?
We did, we managed.
Good. Oh, God. Ready for some more?
Yes, it's coming, I guess, again, tonight, they said, and into tomorrow, yes, for sure. Okay, so as you know, that we had quite a bit of snow yesterday. In places, there was up to 12 inches in the Wilno Hills, and as well as up around Buck Hill area, and also in the village. Near and around Round Lake area, roughly was 6 inches plus, just depends where you were. We had a couple of breakdowns, of course. One had a wing that needed to be welding. We got through yesterday, but then we had to do a little bit of welding today on it. So that's back up and operational. The other one was one of the half-ton blades. There was a solenoid stuck and it caught fire. And then burned some of the wires around it. So we have to, we were able to continue with the other half-ton truck. And the parts are ordered now, but we had to take it off or whatever and take the blade off. And so it's sitting at the old fire hall here in town. Most routes we had to do twice, and sometimes we had to do over 3 because the way the precipitation was coming down yesterday, it was hard to see visuals, and next thing you know, every time you turned around, you did the one plow and it didn't even look like you did anything. And today we were out, and today we were out cleaning up as well, getting everything ready for, I guess, tonight's storm. We're going to be putting the blower back on our sidewalk plow. I'm going to get doing some snow removal in the village, most likely next week, and we'll be out tomorrow as well with the look at the forecast with the winter maintenance. Still waiting on for waste management. I'm waiting on a part for our cardboard compactor at the landfill. It had to be reordered. I guess it got lost in the shipping. So it's got reordered, and we're hoping to have it by this week sometime. And the last thing on my report would be the new roll-off truck. Well, not the used roll-off truck. It arrived on Friday, and it's sitting at the works yard just to do a little bit of things on it, maintenance and stuff. And other than that, that's it for my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions, Carl?
What about that trailer?
I can't get a hold of him, Carl. After we talked last, I tried several times. I tried this morning. I tried this evening again. There's no word on it. So I know we had talked maybe trying to get it to the landfill, but I don't think it'll go through those gates because I do think it's a little long for that. But I don't know what's council's decision on that. How should we move forward on removing it?
We should tow it out of there. Just where do we put it? What about the road yard in there? Yeah. Tow it someplace. It's terrible.
Yeah, we could.
You know, if we towed it there in the back somewhere so that, because right now it looks awful in Killaloe. It doesn't look nice there. We've given them ample opportunity to move it. So what's council's wishes? And then if they come for it, we'll make them pay for the toll.
Yeah, we're going to get stuck with it.
Yeah.
What about a towing company? Would they not take it and put it in their compound and charge fees? Or?
I did talk I did talk to one local one, Teddy, and he wasn't too keen on moving it, just the way that it looked like it. He said at first he was going to, I guess he then took another look at it and he was kind of, but I'm sure there is towing companies out there. I can get a hold of them, Ted, but like how far are we going to tow it? Because then, like, again, council will be stuck with the bill, right?
If we're towing it down the road and it falls apart, what happens to us?
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Well, each towing company would have their own insurance, but still, yeah, I know what you mean.
Got a towing company to do it, we're gonna have to pay the bill and then we'll never get that money back. That's why I was just trying to solve
I
that.
don't.
And trailer.
What about towing it there? I know it's not a compound like Teddy had said or whatever, but what about getting the gentleman down on the end of Water Street? It's just across Queen Street and going down Water Street there. We could have, our guys there with traffic or whatever it needs to be.
If he'd be interested.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
He said he's got dollies and everything to put under.
Okay, well, let's give, what's the responsibility if we're moving somebody else's stuff?
Like I said, we were in contact with the OPP. Well, I was in contact with the OPP, and they said it's on private property or on municipal property. So they said we have the jurisdiction of moving it wherever we want to.
Okay, well, council, do you want to ask that gentleman that we were talking about to move it and get it out of the way and he can keep it?
Yeah, whatever.
Show of hands? It's a go, Dean.
Okay, I will definitely give him a call first thing tomorrow, and we'll go from there and see when we can move it. And like I said, we can have our staff there to block traffic off when it crosses the road.
Yeah, crosses the road where there's traffic. Okay. Anybody
Like
else
on
have
Queen
questions?
Street. Like on Queen Street, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have questions for Dean? Okay, then I'm declaring the bill.
Right, STJ declared pecuniary interest with roads and general voucher number 12 to 2022, 2021. By Ted Brown, declare pecuniary financial interest with road and general voucher 12/2021.
I do that.
Yes. Okay, so motion on the floor.
The question I had was, oh, sorry.
Moved by Carol Keel, there's no seconder.
Guess nobody wants me to chair. Oh, yes, Stanley signed up.
Oh, sorry, didn't see that, sorry. Moved by Carol Keel, second by Stan Kosky, motion for Debbie Kukwinski to chair the meeting in the mayor's absence. All in favor?
Carry. Third from the bottom, Glenn?
Yeah. What's that, gravel?
I'm assuming so, yeah, Glenn.
Glenn Vineski, that's for gravel, right, or Dean?
Winter sand.
Winter sand? Okay.
That's why I had the same one.
Okay, there you go. Anybody else have any comments or questions on the
Yeah.
bills?
23514 on the first page.
514.
Happy Trails, that's the, Pathways Park,
Well,
Is that an
Common Trails
in
Construction.
out thing?
whole park.
There's
Is it
one,
an
yeah,
out thing?
that's who did the trails, yeah.
That's the Grand Commonwealth,
They
grant,
did the trails.
the trails in whole park.
Yeah, but I guess it's, if we paid for it, right, but is it,
We have a grant, plus we have the Commonwealth money, it's part
that, okay, so yeah, so it's,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I kind of meant, okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, motion on the floor.
moved by Stan Kosky, second by Carl Keel, motion to approve rolling general voucher number 12/2021 in the amount of $1,782,478.92.
Discussion, all in favor? Carries.
All right, all right.
Can can't even visit?
We're just waiting for the motion for you to sit in the chair again.
Moved by Stan Kroski, second by Carl Keel, motion for the mayor to resume chairing the balance of the meetings. All in favor?
Okay, anything else for Dean?
No.
Dean, anything else for council?
No, not at this time.
Okay, well, thank you very much and have a nice evening, Dean. We'll say good night.
Okay, thank you. See you,
Thanks.
council.
Okay, so then we're gonna move on to Sue, your report.
I don't have anything.
All right.
Go the way down myself.
All right, so then let's go to personnel, the committee meeting minutes. We're gonna be out of here pretty soon.
Moved by Debbie Kupinski, second by Carl Keel, motion to approve the minutes of the personnel committee meeting held on December 14th, 2021, opening closed session.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, go on to correspondence. The first one is about the Omicron. Comments or questions? Second one is about the recent changes to Ontario planning system. That's all the correspondence?
And this, what was on your desk, the Ottawa Valley.
Oh, yes, that's, yes, yeah. The Ottawa Valley business. Okay, then we're gonna move on to the debenture for the fire hall, the bylaw. Lots of signing of it.
Oh, the stickers.
I know.
Can I ask a
Yes.
question of it? Did we not get a bunch of money we're going to use?
We've already used it last year.
All that's engineers and all
Yeah.
studies. Okay,
And buying the land.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
Moved by Carl Keel, seconded by Stan Kroski, motion for first and second reading of bylaw 05/2022, being a bylaw to authorize the board upon amortizing debentures in a principal amount of $1,891,709.22 towards the cost of the Killen Fire Hall.
discussion? All those in favor? It's carried. First reading, Council Short, please.
Bylaw number 05/2022.
Discussion? Second reading Short, please.
Bylaw 5/2022.
Discussion? Motion for third.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Ted Brown, motion for third reading of bylaw 05/2022.
All those in favor? Carried. Third reading Short.
Bylaw 5/2022.
Oh, we need to get a date. Okay, let's find a date.
That's signal to this bylaw.
No. You could, but then I am leaving the country. In trouble. Just give me a minute to sign all this. Let's pick a date for the road tour.
And I'll let Dean.
And then Dean, we can let Dean know.
I'll send him a text.
Yes. Guys, you pick a date, because we're gonna be on the road tour. Is there changes to meetings? Because,
Oh, yeah,
let's go back to,
you want the March 1st, or the March 8th and March 21st, go back to the 1st and 15th?
just a minute.
Because you're not going over.
No, but. Yeah, I won't be here on the 15th.
You're not gonna be here on the 8th.
No, but we could go on the 1st and we could go on the 22nd.
Okay.
How is that, council? I know,
So March 1st?
but that's me asking.
Yeah.
Is anybody gonna rip me apart when I'm not
No.
here?
So March 1st and March 22nd,
There's one.
regular
Regular
meetings.
meeting.
Yeah, so switch them around. Yeah, yeah. So
Wait, anybody object?
Finance.
Yes.
March 21st, full day.
22nd is regular.
No, we changed that now to.
Yeah, 22nd, there's
March
March.
1st and 22nd, yes, right, sorry.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
For the road tour.
The 8th is canceled. then.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
It's canceled.
yes, March 1st.
Stanley, did you hear all that?
Yeah.
Remove the 8th, put the first,
Remove the 8th,
It's first.
put the first in.
1st, and the 22nd.
Yeah. Yes, I'll have those fixed on the agenda, and now the road tour.
Here's this one. Check if I've signed everywhere, because I usually tend to forget. And then, did you text Dean? Oh, let's find a date for the road tour, please. Anybody have any suggestions? And I'll turn my calendar to.
We have the
We
11th.
had the 11th, but I know
No,
that,
wait, that's for the tour. That's the good
Yeah.
roads now.
yes, but I know that we wanted to put it,
Okay, when's a good road, sorry?
That we leave on the 10th and come back on the 13th. Now, we can do the 14th or we could do the 18th. The Monday is the 18th. Which date suits?
18.
Brian?
18.
Ted? 18 better?
18th's good for me, yeah.
That's Easter Monday.
Oh,
Oh, that's not-
okay, forget about that.
Obviously, that's not a good one.
The 14th is a Thursday. That's not good, Brian?
Yeah, I could be, yeah.
Ted? No, because you might stay longer in Toronto.
Well, I might have to go get Aaron. I don't know.
Okay, let's go. How about the 20th? It's a Wednesday. Better? Better?
Yeah.
20th, road tour?
That's in April.
Yes? 9 o'clock? Fax that to Jean, so, not fax, text, and I'm gonna take it out on the 11th then.
Okay, road tour changed to April.
April the 20th at 9 o'clock, we all meet here.
And then the 11th is a.
11th is out.
The 11th is it. April the 20th.
Two. All right, let's see there, where are we? Unfinished business. Does anybody have any unfinished business?
Okay.
Oh, good. So Dean has it in, it's good?
Yeah.
So we're all good for that? Just about down here. New business. Any new business? So today I did a webinar with the Ministry of Infrastructure. And they told us that the province is promising that the year 2025, every community in Ontario will have broadband, high-speed broadband. And they're dedicating $900 million to doing that. So they told us they're going to do it in different ways. So it might be private, province, county, local, whatever. They're looking at all different kinds of ways in delivering it, and they'll be coming through with different options as we go. So it was a good webinar. The first part of it, they told us about all that they had done, and but there's still lots of communities that do not have high-speed broadband. So
The big,
They didn't mention anything if we'd have telephones before that.
is your phone still out, Stanley?
Well, it's good as that, because you never know where it is. You can be talking to somebody and all of a sudden, this is Bell Canada. Or it'll dial somebody else's number.
oh my God. Well, the province doesn't have anything to do with Bell because it's private. Yeah, it's pretty funny though.
Well, I know that the big thing now, I guess a lot of people are switching to is Starlink,
Yes.
which is that was Elon Musk that created it. And, but there's like a major waiting list. Some people have to sign, and it's for rural internet and it's unlimited and everything like that, but some people signed up in February of last year and they're
Wow.
still waiting. But they said it's easy to install, it's like a satellite dish.
Well, you know, we gotta look at options, right?
Mhm.
Lots of problems. Mel has lots of problems and they better start looking in houses for problems because, oh my God, when my house burned down, I never had so much trouble in my whole life as with Bell. And I finally got it all fixed, but it took me 2 years. When you lose your home, you sure don't need trouble with somebody, dealing with somebody in your that kind of. But anyway, so yeah, people, they're gonna have to take up issues. Any other new business? Okay, then we'd have confirming bylaw, first reading, please.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by John Jeffrey, motion for first and second reading of bylaw 06/2022 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its regular meeting held on January 18th, 2022.
Before I call for the vote on that, did we determine that we're coming in tomorrow? We're coming in tomorrow?
Yeah, we're coming in
Sorry.
tomorrow.
All right.
If it gets really, really nasty. You know, but it's supposed to be tonight and by tomorrow, so. it should be
Okay, so you think we're okay?
Yeah, you and I might have more because we're.
That's a little early, 6:30.
Yeah, 6:30, yeah, just a second.
And 10:30?
11:30, I've got a.
Yeah, 11:30.
What's that? Zoning, oh yeah, with you and you and Tyler. Okay, 10 was there, 11:30.
Yeah.
And then 6:30.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, sounds like a plan.
Have to go to Ottawa tomorrow, but should be back in that time.
By 6:30?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you be
Well,
careful.
just take your time, John, like, don't,
Yeah, because I don't want you, you know.
So he's got to check your Ottawa training.
straight the autumn.
Yeah, you never ever get it out, but you're putting a different one in.
So, okay, give them our best, eh? Okay, all right, all those in favor for confirming bylaw? Okay, it's carried. First reading short, please.
Bylaw 06/2022.
Questions, comments? Second reading, no. Yeah, second reading short.
Bylaw 06/2022.
It sounded like they wanted the whole thing. Okay, motion for third.
Moved by Brian Foskey, second by Ted Brown, motion for third reading of bylaw 06/2022.
All those in favor? Carried. Third reading short.
Bylaw 06/2022.
Did anyone see on the news where that new G5 is interfering?
Yeah, 5G.
Commercial airliners, or 5G?
It's what?
The whole American, the airlines do not want 5G near the airports because it's interfering with,
They can't even read their landing, gear,
Yeah.
don't know if it's down
Yeah.
or up or.
yeah, major, yeah. There was supposed to be a decision made, and they postponed it a couple of times, but yeah, and it's the major airlines.
So I'm the only mayor
Yeah, that voted against it.
that they signed a letter that went off and to Prime Minister Trudeau, and I'm the only mayor that didn't sign it because you guys told me not to. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Debbie Kupinski, second by Ted Brown, motion to adjourn regular meeting held on January 18th, 2022. In the township of Philly,
All those in favor? Carrie, good night, guys. Thank you so much. I'll sign the rest then.